Welcome to our webinar on form letters. We will be talking about how to create form letters and how they are run from within the patient's account and where those attachments are saved. So to begin, we're going to go into File, General, General Setup, and Form Letters. Now this table is going to be a list of all of the form letters that have been created within Management Plus for our database. Okay, at the beginning yours might be blank, but you can store as many letters in here as you can create. So what we're going to do today is we are going to create a new form letter. So I'm going to go ahead over on the right side and click Add, and we're going to give it a description. So this is going to be a welcome letter, and because I know there's already one in here, I'm going to say welcome letter 2, just so I can come back and find it later. Any letter you create, you have to select a source for that letter. Basically, what kind of information do you want to be able to pull into this letter to send to your patient? Okay, so under source, you can see we have charge information, EHR information, optical. As we go down, there's patient information, payment, physician information, scheduling information. So depending on the letter that you are creating, your source is going to be a little bit different for each one. I'm going to go ahead and choose patient information for this letter, and we're going to edit that document. Now when we edit the document, we're going to get a form letter editor. Okay, essentially this is Management Plus and Word working together to create a letter. The first thing we're going to do is use the Word functions and go into Insert, and we're going to insert the date and time. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and click Date and Time and choose the format that I wish to have on my letter. We'll do that, and I have the option to update that date automatically, which means every time I generate this letter, I will not have to manually update the date. The system will do that for me. You do not have to use that option, but it is there. Alright. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to start our letter. Okay, if I do not want this information, I'm not ready to start my letter yet, and instead up at the top I'm going to have my patient's name and address, I can go ahead and do that too. Now the way we get our name and address in here, because it will be different for every letter that we create, we're going to go up to this Insert field. This is where Management Plus and Word work together to get that data that you wish to have. So under Insert field, we're going to go ahead and click on that drop down, and there's a lot of different choices in here. Okay, the very first field in this list, you see it says guarantor, and then we're going to get into marketing info, other physicians, and then we'll get into patient information down here. That is going to be the source of that field. So this is going to be the patient's account number, where up here we have the other physicians, the rendering provider's address. Okay, so depending on what it is you're looking for, you can kind of scroll through this, and if it's patient information you want, come down here to where it starts with the patient. Now, when you are choosing their name, I'm going to point this out because it is a common mistake. This says alias first name. This is not the legal first name that's on the account. So if the patient does not have an alias entered, it will pull nothing. So you want to make sure that you come down to where it just says patient first name. Okay, and this is how it's going to appear on your letter, because we haven't told it what name to put in there. We're just telling it to pull the patient's first name from that account. We're going to go ahead and we're going to put a space, because we're going to use our proper punctuation and spacing just as if we were typing the patient's first name. And then we're going to come down here and we're going to find patient last name. Okay, so patient last name. Now when we do this word merge, it's going to replace these two fields with the patient's actual first and last name. Go ahead and hit enter, and we're going to go find our patient address line 1, and then enter again, and we're going to do patient, city, state, and zip. Now that is going to update automatically when we run this letter from a patient's account, and it will fill in these blanks. Okay, so then we have our date, and that's great. And come down here, and we can do dear, and maybe we want to put the patient's first name. Okay, so we go back over to our insert field, and we find the patient's first name again, and again put your comma or semicolon, however you wish to create this letter, so that the punctuation is correct when it prints. Okay, so we'll just type a quick little note. Okay, Okay, thank you for coming to see us. We look forward to providing the best care for your eyes. However you want to word this, you can type your letter. If you have a soft copy saved in another Word file, you can certainly highlight the existing text, copy, and paste it into the body of this, and then just add, the name and address fields that you need to add. Okay, so we'll just finish this up. I'll say, looking forward to providing quality eye care for you and your family. Please call us with any questions. Alright, so once that's done, we can go ahead and put in sincerely Dr. Jones' office or staff. However we're going to do this, we can have a couple lines for signature, whatever you want your letter to say. Okay. Now, when you are doing form letters, you have to have at least 2 separate fields in order for the form letter to work. If you only have one, the letter will not generate. Okay, so you can have as many as you'd like. You can have patient information, financial information, schedule information, as long as there are at least 2 fields. So we're done. We're going to go ahead and save and close. Now, we have our letter created. It is just a template, so where do we go to print this? Of course, if we printed it from that screen, it's just going to give us all of the table names, and we don't want that. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and click OK, and we're just going to go ahead and open someone's account. And when you're inside of a patient's account, you can go up to the word merge, or you can go to patient word merge, whatever you prefer. And it's going to give us this list of letters. Now, we had a welcome letter number 2. Okay, and there are 2 of them, so we're going to guess that it's this one, and then I'm going to hit merge. When I do merge, it is going to give me my letter. Okay, Robert Asher, he had no address entered, so it left those lines blank. Dear Robert, thank you for coming to see us. Sincerely, Dr. Jones' staff. Okay, once you have this letter open, you can type additional information. Okay, maybe, I need to add the phone number in here. You can go ahead and type any of that information as well. Now, once you save this, okay, and you print this and you close it, it is going to save under the patient's attachments. Okay, so we can open this up, and here's our changes. Now, if you try to make any changes again, okay, so we'll just do test notes here. If you try to save this again, print it out, the attachment does not resave, and it does not save any new notes that you have typed. So make sure you put your notes in the very first time before you save it, or, of course, you can right-click and delete this letter and reprint the letter for that patient. Okay. Now, with form letters, once you have the form letter created, you can also run a batch of them from custom reporting. Okay, so I have this new patient list. I can go ahead and I can say that I want to print my welcome letter too. Okay, here's my custom report that shows all patients whose account was created at a different time, or at a specific time. And when I run this report, it is going to do a word merge for me for all of the patients who meet that criteria. So you can see here's Jane and here's Kathy, who I can print both letters at one time without having to go into their account. But because this is custom reporting, it looks as this as one document. So it's not actually going to attach the letter itself to each patient's account. What I can do is I can go into my columns and I can attach a patient note, okay, to attach patient note that will say, hey, this patient did get one of these letters printed. Okay, so let's run this again. Here's my letters, okay, for Jane Foster. Okay. If if we go look at Jane Foster, then it would show right here under notes. Let's see if we can find the right one. Alright, so it's the third one. Here's our report note that says this patient was in a new patient list report or a welcome letter or whatever we've called the report itself. Okay, so that is something that you have the option to do with custom reporting and form letters. But as far as form letters are concerned, all of them are set up under File, General, General Setup, and Form Letters. Okay, and if we look at another one, let's just do like account balance. We'll take a look at this one. We can edit this document. Okay, all of this information for financial, whatever we have told it to pull, will pull into that letter. Let's give this a second to close. Let's try this one. Okay, so here we have the patient's account number, the patient's name. You can see we have AR days in here, as well as the AR total. So depending on the source of your letter, okay, it's going to pull different information. So that's where your source is going to come in handy. Always ask yourself, what kind of information do I want in this letter? Is it going to be financial? Is it going to be scheduling? Is it EHR information? And then choose the source appropriately from there. Otherwise, these letters really are just selecting the fields that you want to have from this insert up at the top of your screen. Make this a little bigger. Insert field. Okay, you can see now our choices are completely different because it is a different source. So you have a lot of flexibility with form letters depending on the type of letter you want to run. And this is really just going to be the field will update with the appropriate information based on each patient as you run this letter. So if you have any questions, please contact our support team. We'll be more than happy to answer questions, help you with your letters. And our phone number is 1-800-695-6994, option 1, and then option 2, and we'll be happy to help you with this. Thank you so much and have a great day.